Welcome to my channel, Riverside Life. Please remember that this video is meant for entertainment purposes only. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. A lot of information is featured in the description box below. If you do not find your answer there, please feel free to comment or email me. Alright guys, it's been over a month since my first and last video. I am completely new at all this, at this vlog thing, and beside the camera on my computer, which is also the one that I use for my other channel, which I've listed in the description box. Beside that, I had another camera that I could use. I had my phone that I could use to record some of the stuff that I do to, as I said, to keep myself busy. Not to keep myself busy, but really to the other camera that I could use to record the different projects that I work on that are beside beside my regular job, if you will, because I work close to 30 hours a week online. So I had begun to record a few of the projects that I work on when I'm not online or when I'm not at work, basically. And that camera on my phone for some reason failed because apparently there's not enough room, there's not enough space, not enough memory. I removed a lot of apps on my phone. It didn't change much. I think, I'm not sure, but I think it's because of the cloud that I store my videos and my my pictures online, which is connected to my phone, also connected to my computer. And for some reason, I have a feeling that there's not enough memory on that, and I don't want to purchase more memory. I don't want to add memory to it. So this has sort of delayed my content, not creating, but putting my content online. And I found another camera that I could use. The only thing that I don't know is, and I have yet to test that, but the other camera that I found to do this, I have yet to test if, one, it works, and if two, if I have to do voiceover when I do my editing, or if I can speak right on camera. So I don't know yet. I have yet to test that, and I should do that fairly soon. But I imagine I'm not the only one on the planet who finds herself, having technical issues like that, or having to learn new stuff, which, I mean, I feel like I'm 99 years old when these things happen, because it feels like when I was a teenager and all the adults, when I was a teenager in the 80s, and all the adults had to learn how to use a microwave and a VCR, and it seemed to be the end of the world. It seemed to be very complicated. And for us teenagers, or for even children, it was like the easiest thing ever. It's as if we had been born with a microwave and a VCR, in our hands. So I sort of feel the same way now. And I had to get used to and acquainted. Maybe I'll stop my light here because it's a little too, yeah, you can't see my face. I don't know if you can see my face better now. Maybe if I brought this down a little bit. Sorry about that. Maybe, yeah, no, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna do better. Maybe a little better. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I speaking of technical stuff, I had to learn, and that was another thing that was another element that made me feel like I was 99 years old. I had to learn how to use an editing software, and this is not the easiest thing. But I am learning as I go. You can laugh at me. You can laugh at me if you want, but I'm learning as I go with the editing software. And I have to admit that probably if ever you watch my videos from my other channel, you'll notice that I am at the basics. I'm really at the basics. I think that it's easier for me to manipulate or to work with Teams and Zoom to do my work online than it is to edit. But I sort of am in survival mode. I've been in survival mode for about 3 weeks now with the editing software. And I am also learning to work with pictures, which is something, again, I feel like I'm 99 years old when this happens, but I'm learning now to work with pictures because Photoshop, I have a feeling it would take me 100 years to learn how to work with Photoshop. But I found a way to work with pictures, hence the thumbnail that you have for that I have for this video. But I found a way to work with PowerPoint and to work with pictures so that I have very different thumbnails. And yeah, I think that's how it is. But I think that's pretty much how it is. So that's why I've been off. I've been trying so much to keep up with my videos on my other channel that on this channel I was like, oh my gosh, like, trust me, everybody, I want to bring you content. And I want to bring you something else than me sitting in front of the camera and talking to you. I want to bring you visuals there are so many things that I work on, so many projects that I work on at the same time that I work online, that I work from home. I can tell you, I wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, and it's continuous. I have plenty to do, which sort of, it brings me to another point that some people that I've talked to, obviously not online, but some people that I've talked to in, I would say, the past 6 months or so, or a year, some people who actually miss going to work, they miss their social circle, they miss a lot of things. But interestingly enough, recently, I think it was in January, somebody told me that, and that one was kind of difficult to believe. You can drop your comments and tell me what you think about this. But somebody, somewhere at the beginning of January, somebody told me that what they missed about working in the office was having to commute, having to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, be out of the house by 7, or having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, be out of the house by 6 so that they could go to the gym, maybe go to the gym. But somebody told me that they missed getting up. I remember this is what the person said to me. They missed waking up at 6, being out of the house by 7, and this one I didn't quite understand, but sort of being on the road, the commute, for an hour and a half just to be sure that they could be at the office for 8:30. I mean, to all their to each his own. But as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I totally respect that. I mean, if some people like to be stuck in traffic, if some people like to have to do a long commute before they get to work, that's fine. I imagine that it's the same thing when they're done from work. If they work until 5 and then at 5 they have to do another hour and a half to get home, it's fine. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not angry not to have to commute in the morning and the evening. I'm really happy to have this 10-second commute, or let's say, okay, let's be generous, this 45-second commute between my bedroom, the bathroom, the kitchen, and getting into my office and starting to work. I get so much more work done that way. And I get, yes, I've had to adjust a few things, but I get a lot of work done that way. And not only that, but I actually have, I don't know if I can say I have more time, but yeah, I sort of have more time and I have more energy to work on other projects that I have, which again, I'm really sorry I can't bring you any visuals right now of the projects that I work on at the same time that I do my regular job. But I work in the month of January, I worked on making my own makeup removal. Because obviously, one thing, before I was online, I used to work with no makeup. But I noticed that being online, like I say, I teach online. So I noticed that being online, in order for my students to I don't want to catch their attention. I don't want to grab their attention. But in order for my students to be able to better model the pronunciation when I teach, because I teach languages. So in order to better model the pronunciation of different words, they have to be able to see my lips somehow. And I noticed that when I don't have any makeup on, not only do my eyes fade in my head, my cheeks fade in my head, and my lips also fade in my head. So when I have, and I've had to get a very bright lipstick, which it's actually a lip gloss, but honestly, it is so bright that when I'm done with my classes, if I have to go out to the grocery store or anything, I actually remove it. I actually remove the lip gloss because I find it too, like, I guess with natural daylight, I find it way too bright. Way too bright. So, but that's it. So, like, the types of projects that I've worked on is makeup remover, my own homemade makeup remover. I've worked on my homemade bright lipstick. I've worked on my homemade solid shampoo, homemade lip balm, homemade night cream, homemade day cream. And I know I'm listing all of this and I have no visual. I truly apologize. I promise to you, I've promised myself that in the next week or so, I will test drive the other camera that I have that to find out if there's any way for me to record my voice, or I have to do voiceover. And if not, I'll try to find a way. I'll try to find a way to maybe get a new camera. I don't know. I'll see what I can do with all of this, or maybe just find a way to do it with my cell phone. But I had promised myself that I would come to you, and especially it's February 14th, 2022. I had promised you that I would come and give you some kind of an update on how things have been. It's Valentine's Day for those who celebrate it. And I'm also working on preparing my balcony garden, which is also a project that I want to share with you guys, just like how incredible it can be. As you know, I love plants. Like you see one there. You don't see the ones that are on the windowsill, or believe it or not, I have one. I don't know if you're going to see the leaf of it. Yes, you do. So this is an aloe plant. It is huge. It's by my window. Lucky for me, I was able to move it a little bit so that, but you actually see a part. No, you don't see a part of the leaf. I thought you could. Maybe it's this one here. Yeah, it's this one here that you see. Okay. So all this to say that on top of my work, my regular work, which is now up to 30 hours a week, and I could add a few hours to it. Usually I record my videos on the weekends because during the week is a tough thing. So today is a very special, I had promised myself that I would record a video today, and I am doing it. So clapping for this, although I don't have any visuals to show you, but like I said, I promised myself that I would figure out a way to do it. In my first video, in the other video that I made, I talked a little bit about the fact that 2022 could be for me, and for some people it won't be interesting at all, and I know for other people it might be more interesting. But I knew that 2022 was going to be really interesting for the 10th of February mark. Interestingly enough, it's 5:55, 5 o'clock and 55 minutes. So February 10th, to get back, February 10th was the date, marked I guess you could call it the first anniversary, it means now it's official. I am menopausal. And believe me, if you're interested in this, wonderful. If you're not, you have the right to just stop the video and move on to the next vlogger. I won't be offended, trust me. I don't intend to talk about this for an hour, but just to give you an update, I am officially menopausal. I have watched some other YouTubers who some other YouTubers who are experiencing some of the same stuff. I'm going to be 50 in 2022. I'm going to be 50 this year. And I can tell you, if there are any women out there, obviously I can't say men because you don't go through this, but if there are any women out there who are younger than me or a bit older than me, and you are going through this phase, I so relate to you. I spent 3.5 years being pre-menopausal, and the one symptom that I had for 3.5 years, that was probably the hardest, most difficult symptom to deal with, was hot flushes. And I still have them. For the past 2 weeks or so. I've had hot flushes, but I've also had heart palpitations. And one thing that I have found very difficult is when I go to the grocery store, because we are in a worldwide situation. When I've gone to the grocery store or when I've gone to other places where we have to wear a mask, I have found myself gasping for air. So if you've noticed, those who are going through menopause, or those who are at premenopausal, and you have found it's I mean, I've done research. I have found a few websites where they list the symptoms, and I'll probably share them in the description, also in the description box below. But I found a few websites where they talk about menopause, and it is so true. And there's one vlogger who I thought was absolutely hilarious, talking about menopause, and she's discovered that she's menopausal. I think she's been menopausal for about 6 months now, or she discovered that but that she was menopausal about 6 months ago. And that YouTube vlogger, by the way, is According to Taz. She's an excellent vlogger. And the way that she described her hot flushes is not only so hilarious, but it is so on point. It's when she said that when she has a hot flush, it feels like she's sitting on fire. And there's no better way to describe it. It's hilarious, but at the same time, it is so true. And it would be fun if hot flushes came with a warning. Like, I don't know, 5 minutes before a hot flush, that, I don't know, you get anything, any kind of physical sign that says, watch out, you're going to have a hot flush. We have none of that. All of a sudden, you get really, really hot. You're sweaty as if you ran a 30-kilometer marathon on high speed. That lasts about a minute or two. And then you sweat so much that you find yourself freezing after that because you're covered in sweat. And I've noticed, well, not noticed, but I think the last time in my life that I wore my hair tied up on top of my head like this, like, and those, what we call the umbrella, the fountain ponytail that we do on the head of 6-month-olds, or on the head of 2-year-olds, like 2-year little girls, and they look so cute. This thing, I used to make this type of ponytail when I had very long hair. I mean, long hair down to the bottom of my back. And that was 20 years ago. I'm not kidding. That was 20 years ago. And I honestly never thought these bandos or these headbands, I never thought these headbands looked good. Never did. They are necessary now. I mean, I try as much as I can. I love to keep my hair loose. But during the week that normally I would have my period, during those weeks that normally I would have my period, I have to wear the headband, and I have to wear my hair up in a fountain ponytail, because the back of my neck gets so sweaty, so wet, and my forehead gets so sweaty and so wet that if I don't have this, I can't stand my hair. And mind you, a lot of people would say, well, just cut it up. Just do like every other 50-year-old, 60-year-old, and just cut up your hair, and, like, if you need to, just shave the back of your head. I like my long hair too much. I mean, I think my hair is now down to here. I love the cut. I've had the cut for, I think, 6 or 7 years. I absolutely love the cut. I love long hair. So I try to live with it or deal with it during during the week that I normally have my period. And how is it that I know that it's the week during the time I would have my period? Interestingly enough, since I would say since October, I have been timing those days that I have hot flushes. And although I do have some between the periods, the week, so the big intense hot flushes that are recurrent, that come back almost every 5 minutes, they last about 6 days, 6, 7 days, which is around the same time that I used to have my period. So I put it up on the calendar, and I'm not kidding you, it's been, well, so far, it's been 4 months straight that it works like that. So I kind of have a warning about that, but it's just that when the hot flush, when I'm in the period of the hot flushes, which lasts about 7 days, I don't have any warning when it comes on. So, but this is absolutely wonderful. If probably I'll try to find the YouTube video where, according to Taz, talks about that, of when she went to the doctor and discovered that her doctor confirmed to her that she was in the early stages of menopause. It's absolutely hilarious. But the way she explains it, that the way she describes it, that it's like being like having your butt sitting on fire, she's absolutely right. It's hilarious, but it's right. All right, now let's move on from menopause. At the end of December, when I did my first video, when I posted my first video, I had talked about the fact that I was going to cut sugar during January to see if it had any effect on the hot flushes. Although there were other benefits, obviously, of cutting sugar, there were other benefits than the hot flushes. So far, cutting sugar has not done anything for my hot flushes, absolutely nothing. But the benefits of cutting sugar, and if you want to try it, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing's gonna happen. The benefits of cutting sugar is my skin has cleared in the ways I never thought it would. Cutting sugar also has helped tremendously with my digestive system, tremendously. I have to say that although in January I cut like every kind of sugar, including including honey and maple syrup, I brought a little bit back. I brought honey back into my diet. And I brought maple syrup back into my diet. So I would say that I reduced, I took away the white sugar, the brown sugar, but I brought back the honey and the maple syrup. So, but I can say so far, cutting sugar has not reduced. It has not reduced the hot flushes at all. It has not reduced any of that. But like I said, I noticed that the hot flushes are more intense in the time that normally I would have my period. Now, one thing I wanted to say to get back to something I realize I hadn't talked about when I talked about working remotely and how amazing it is. One thing that I would have to agree, a few people have said the inconvenience of working from home, given that we don't have to commute anymore. We don't have to commute anymore. We don't have to be in another building except our home. One of some of the inconvenience that I agree with is one, I have found myself having to adjust because you don't have any more commute, yet you wake up at the same time. And so you have to adjust with the number of hours and also adjust. I know I'm lucky enough that I have a space to call my office, my home office, but I know some people don't have a space to call their home office. So often their home office is in the kitchen. And so one thing about not having your home a home office space, and I totally agree with that, it must be difficult, it's to step away from work. Obviously, if you have your computer in the kitchen the entire time and you have to do other things outside of work, like outside of working hours, and you keep glancing at your computer or you keep glancing at your phone and your phone is also your work phone, to some extent it must be difficult. So I'm pretty grateful that I have my home office. That way, and it's been like this since 2013. So for me, whether that door is open or not, and I'm in the living room, it doesn't change the fact that, I mean, even though I look inside my office, there's sort of an invisible wall here, an invisible thing, an invisible barricade during the weekend that I don't even pay attention to my office. I don't even pay attention to my computer. But I do have something set up for my other channel in another room. So obviously it makes a difference. All right. This vlog has been long enough. Again, I will do my very best. I promised myself that I would test that other camera, so I will. And I will do my very best to bring you more content on the kinds of projects that I do outside of my work. Show you what I do, how I do it, and yeah. So, on that note, if you like this video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing, hitting the bell so that you get a notification. And I promise I'm going to do my very best to bring you more content more regularly if I can get my camera to work, my other camera to work. And one thing, if you do like the channel, consider also commenting, like if you want to see more stuff, but consider commenting, consider liking and sharing and subscribing, sorry, not describing, subscribing. It apparently helps the algorithm, another thing that I know nothing about, but it apparently expands the audience. So if you think that other people might like these videos, although you don't have much to base your opinion on, but if you think that there might be other people who would like to watch these videos and to get more information on different things that I do, like menopause and diet and all that, then it apparently helps expand the audience. And so if other people are interested in these kinds of topics, then they can follow along. All right, so I'm done. On that note, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching Riverside Life. Remember to like, share, subscribe, which helps expand the audience for others who might be interested in this content, and hit the bell for notifications when I upload new videos. On that note, see you next time.